assume you guys are getting a bit more of a understanding of these volunteers, that they actually can do well in front of a camera, unlike your chairman today who doesn't do very well in front of a microphone. You know, we, as the resident coordinator mentioned in his speech, that a lot of people that exist within the UN system were actually former volunteers. And we thought it appropriate to invite one of those former volunteers to give a speech. She's Guyanese. She also happens to be one of my project coordinators under the EPSI project. So I'd like to invite Ms. Monica Sharma up to the microphone to talk a bit about that.
The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service to others. Honorable Prime Minister, Resident Representative, UNDP, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests here today, I greet you with the words of the great Mahatma Gandhi. I am humbled and honored to be here in your midst, to witness and be a part of a new beginning for so many of my fellows. Excitement and energy, zest and zeal, the feeling you get in the pit of your stomach when you're at the edge about to take off and soar the skies. That's some of what I feel here today, 45 times over, as I look into the eyes of each and every one of our 45 new national UN volunteers. That's also some of what I felt 8 years ago when I began unknowingly trying to find myself. In November 2001, I was recruited as a UN volunteer, and I proudly served the country of my birth for 4 consecutive years in 2 different capacities, in 1 government organization and 1 UN organization. Fast-tracked to 2009, I am presently employed with UNDP, helping to coordinate a significant governance project that places great emphasis on youth empowerment. The same project that's responsible for recruiting a total of 100 national UN volunteers. Can you begin to feel how proud I am to be standing here to welcome you on board? It's almost like celebrating the birth of new siblings. So, indulge me, if you will, for a few moments of reflection on this journey of mine, and who knows what we may find together. In the very beginning, I paid little attention to the UN part of UNV. My focus was entirely on reaching out to young people. I knew that I was one person trying to make a difference in my country, but I also knew that I was not alone. I had a great urge to try and demonstrate the power of one multiplied many times over. The UNV program afforded me the opportunities to connect with and stimulate other volunteers, other young people like me around a particular issue we were all passionate about. Later on, I began to place value to the UN part of UNV and recognize the impact, both negative and positive, it can have on what I was trying to do. I was blown away that I was given business cards that looked just like the ones the German fellow who headed the UNV program in Guyana at the time had. Important people had business cards, I thought. Was I now important? From the word go, I was given the latitude to try new ideas, and boy did I take full advantage of this newfound space, targeting young people all over this country through conscious enterprise, ways that they thought were innovative, interactive, and fun. Then I was told by that same German fellow that some people from UNV headquarters in Bonn, Germany, would like to visit my projects. People from Bonn didn't just come to visit Guyana like that. How did they even know what I was doing here? Recognition of success was happening at national and international levels. Resulting from that visit, Guyana for the first time featured in the global UNV annual report. We were on the map, and we're gonna be on the map again from the looks of things here today. I was able to broaden my knowledge base on the finer details of management and youth development, and was party to discussions that looked at the bigger picture. UNV kept my eyes, ears, and feet to the ground, while at the same time placed me in boardrooms where critical issues were being debated, and I could contribute and also benefit from the expertise around the table. My mind was opening up at a rate, and I had ideas and opinions to share, and they listened. Using what I had learned about documenting processes and practices, access to funds for my youth-led programs grew into a revolving fund set up by UNDP and managed by a committee that included youth representation. The fact that UNDP had the confidence to set up this fund after seeing what we were able to do over a 2-year period was evidence enough that 1, we were doing something right, 2, support was out there for youth-led efforts, and 3, we could make a difference. Sporting my fancy badge with my fancy job title on it and handing out my important business cards, however, didn't stop the bad times from happening. Being a UNV didn't suddenly make all the rainy days disappear. And the truth is, I think we need rainy days to help us grow too. So there were times when I was absolutely taken for granted. The title of volunteer does that to you sometimes. I was sent to do copies, cut and paste labels on stacks of envelopes, fetch items up and down the stairs, all this for projects and programs I had no connection with. But because a UN volunteer was around, why not get her to do it? I was excluded from meetings because of the type of contract I had signed. I was seen as an outsider by my own local colleagues. I was often given more than my fair share of work, since my living allowance was at times higher than the salaries of some of my contemporaries. These are just some of the challenges I faced early on in my UNV career, and some I even faced throughout my 4-year stint. But as some great person once said, we are not creatures of circumstances. We are creators of circumstances. And so I viewed my exposure as an incredible teacher. I learned to set what a colleague of mine calls my non-negotiables. Personal boundaries I would not allow anyone to cross, be it my boss or my friend. I learned to pick my battles and understand that not everything has to be a battle, or even my battle. I learned how to listen and when not to speak, and what's the difference. I learned it's better to try and understand rather than try to be understood. I learned all over again that we are fundamentally all the same at the core. Everyone needs to be cared for, respected, and valued. I also discovered the secret to living life, which I'm going to share with you. But actually, it's not really a secret. It's called the Golden Rule, which says, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. And I try to live my life by that rule. What I haven't mentioned yet, as I'm saving the best for last, is the wonderful experience of being part of the UNV family. In my time, both national and international UNVs came together on various occasions, mostly organized by ourselves, and celebrated with each other in fine style. To this day, the network exists, and we continue to collaborate across borders, supporting each other in any way possible. The wonderful World Wide Web allows this, whether it's a successful project, a job promotion, a marriage, kids, or just even a birthday. Looking back now, I can say what I managed to do in these 4 years through my work in every single region of this beautiful country was find out that this mathematician was hooked in her heart, in her soul, in her very being, on working to make sure the twinkle of hope for a bright future that can be seen in the eyes of any young Guyanese child can be realized for each one of them. What I managed to do is partially find myself by first losing myself in the service to others. Take advantage of this opportunity. Use it well. Share, learn, grow. Become the responsible, respectful adults and leaders you want to see today. I thank you.